Hi everyone, it's Chrissy and welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another Sims 4 apartment renovation. So today we're actually in the Spice District and we're in the 2B Jasmine Suites apartment. And yeah, as you guys could probably tell from the title, we're going to be building a vampire apartment. So basically this is an apartment for a kind of like vampire apothecary type sim. And yeah, I know we don't have like apothecaries in the game, but when I was doing the kitchen for this apartment, you guys will see, when I was doing the kitchen, it kind of took on a little bit of a like a witchy vibe or like spellcaster vibe. And I ended up including a bunch of herbs and like measuring scales and, you know, recipe stuff, like not really cookbooks, but like herbalism books and stuff. Stuff that looks a little bit more witchy rather than vampire-ish. So I decided that this was going to be for a vampire apothecary. So basically a vampire that has a really big interest in herbalism and, you know, all of the different like herbs and, you know, potions and elixirs and stuff like that. And maybe that's just something that they've picked up over, you know, the centuries of their life. And maybe they actually make a living off of it. Maybe they're like, I don't know, maybe they make a living off of making like elixirs and stuff like that. Or maybe they're like a teacher or something. That could be really cool, like a professor. And they maybe like teach like alchemy or, I don't know, herbalism or, you know, something like that. But yeah, so basically that was kind of like the vibe for this apartment. This could also really easily work for a spellcaster. Maybe like a little bit of a darker spellcaster, considering the apartment is very dark. There's a lot of black, obviously. There's a lot of black, a lot of dark blue, you know, stuff like that. So it's definitely for a little bit of like a darker spellcaster. Or maybe it's just for a sim that likes dark academia and just likes this style, like a regular sim. That's totally possible as well. I love this apartment and I wouldn't mind living in it, so you know, there's that. But yeah, so basically we've already done the bathroom. It's a really big bathroom, shower tub. You know, I used a lot of the items from the Vampires pack. I also obviously used a lot of stuff from Realm of Magic because it really fit the vibe. And then I think I used some things from, I think the Werewolves pack, but like clutter stuff. So, you know, random weird looking urns and, you know, things like that. And then I know I used the stuff, I know I used stuff from a bunch of other packs as well. Obviously, this isn't pack restricted. I didn't want to like restrict myself with the packs or the budget or, you know, anything like that. But I know for a fact I used a lot of stuff from Vampires, from Realm of Magic. I think I also used quite a bit of stuff from, honestly, maybe like Discovery University or something. But yeah, I just basically used a bunch of different packs. So yeah, all of that stuff obviously will be shown on the gallery if you want to download this. It is completely custom content free though. So if you want to download it, it is up on the gallery, my gallery ID and all of the hashtags and stuff that you can use to search for my builds are all in the description. I'll also have a direct download link to the gallery website in the description as well if you want to just go ahead and like check it out on there or something. But yeah, all of that information is in the description as always. But yeah, so coming back to this apartment, so basically I already did the bathroom. It's quite a nice big bathroom. I did put in a washer and a dryer as well, so you know, you can do laundry. Obviously, you can really easily just delete it and maybe like put the plant in that corner or something if you don't want to play with laundry. But there also is a laundry basket in the bathroom. And you guys will have seen that I used a couple of those weird, like, almost like bottle vases type things. They kind of remind me of little bottles. So like, you know, maybe like really old perfume bottles or like vials or something. And I used them in a couple of different places in this apartment. I used them in the bathroom. I used them in the bedroom. I used them as, I think, random clutter in the hallway as well. So in my head, maybe those bottles are like vials or whatever are, you know, either elixirs that the sim has made, or they're like really old and expensive perfumes or like really old bottles that they've, you know, had from maybe like the Victorian era or the medieval period, or, you know, something like that from their life. And yeah, so I used a bunch of them. I also used a bunch of the Batu plants as well, just because they're kind of weird. And they kind of, I don't know, just like they fit the vibe of the apartment for some weird reason. And yeah, we're working on the living room right now. I just put in the kitchen counters and stuff, and then once I'm done with the living room, we're gonna go ahead and like clutter up the kitchen a little bit more. But you guys will have seen that I used the 2-tile dining table from the Vampires pack, or at least I tried to use it. But at the end of the day, I think I swapped it out for one from... I don't think it wasn't the paranormal pack. I swapped it out for one from Cottage Living, a black one from Cottage Living. That's, you know, just a small round table, just because it fit a little bit better with the way the layout turned out in the kitchen. And you might be wondering why I put a full kitchen in a vampire apartment, because, you know, technically they don't have to eat. But in my head, the vampire that does live here, they're a little bit more modern. I mean, they're probably like really, really old, like centuries old, but they've kind of adapted to modern life. So they do have like stuff like a TV. They have a really big flat screen in their living room. They have a computer, although it's a computer that looks like a really old typewriter, but they do still have a computer. They have a TV. They obviously live in a freaking apartment in a city, so yeah, they're obviously not like super traditional, but they, you know, they're very old, but they've adapted to modern life, and maybe they do still eat food. Maybe, you know, obviously the vampires in the game, they can eat like regular sim food, unless they have the like withered stomach. I don't know if it's not a trait, but it's like a weakness, like a vampire weakness. And if they don't have that, then they can eat just regular food. They don't need to, but they can if you want to use it for, like, I say in air quotes, like blending in purposes. So in my head, this sim still eats normal food. Maybe they actually really like cooking, and obviously they're into like herbalism and stuff, so they kind of need a kitchen to do all of that kind of stuff in. So yeah, they do have a regular kitchen. Maybe they even have friends over sometimes. So yeah, having something like that is just useful for gameplay if, you know, you maybe want to live here with a normal sim as well. So yeah, I did include that. And then you guys will see me, I kind of talked over it, but you will see that on the mantelpiece in the living room, on the fireplace mantelpiece, I did put down a couple of urns. And I used a couple of vampire urns, and I also used one from the werewolves pack. And that's not the only place that I'm going to be using urns. In the hallway, actually, I end up putting quite a few of them as well as, you know, decoration on bookshelves and, you know, regular shelves and stuff like that. And I did that on purpose. And not because I thought that this sim would be like, you know, someone that collected gravestones or urns from dead sims, but because they're kind of cool looking and they really look like, you know, weird vases and stuff. And I don't know, I like the way it looked. Maybe some of them are from vampires or werewolves that, you know, the sim has or like was close to like previously and they've passed away. Or maybe they're just like really cool looking urns and vases and they're just decorative. So yeah, either way, you know, it's all up to you guys how you want to interpret that. But I just used them because they looked cool and I don't know, they kind of fit the whole vampire theme. And how often do I get to build with urns? So yeah, I figured, you know, I might as well use them while I had the chance. And then I also used a couple of debug decorations from the werewolves pack. So that weird, like really cool, almost Beauty and the Beast looking flower that's in the jar. It's technically called a moonflower. But yeah, it's really cool. It really reminds me of the Beauty and the Beast rose from, you know, that story. So I put that up on the mantelpiece along with a weird skull thing from the vampires pack and a bunch of sized down statues. I also use a bunch of like sized down statues in the hallway as well as decoration like on tables. And yeah, I think that's like everything for like the living spaces. And then, oh yeah, for the bedroom, there is technically 2 bedrooms in this apartment. It is technically a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom apartment. But the 1-bedroom, obviously, 1-bedroom is like the main bedroom. So it has a bed, dresser, you know, all of that normal stuff. I say in air quotes. But like all of that normal sim stuff. So that's in the main bedroom. And then the 2nd bedroom is actually kind of like a hidden room. And again, I say hidden in air quotes because nothing is really hidden in The Sims. But I end up using 2 bookcase doors in the hallway. And I kind of tried to make them look like a really big corner bookcase. You guys will see what I'm talking about, you know, right now as I'm working on it. But I have these 2 really big bookcases from Strangerville that I have kind of in this little alcove that makes it look like a built-in bookcase. And then next to them, kind of like on a 90-degree angle on that wall, I have those 2 bookcase doors from the base game. And the reason I did it that way, and you'll see me actually putting a shelf above them as well and then cluttering it up, is because I wanted to make it look like this whole corner of the hallway is actually one big bookcase. And the reason I did that is because obviously I wanted to use the bookcase doors as kind of like a secret entrance to the other room. And usually the bookcase doors in the game look incredibly stupid. Like, they really do look very unrealistic. They're very flat, obviously, because they're technically doors and they just have like a bookcase texture on them. So there's no real like depth to them at all, which makes them really weird looking and very like unrealistic. You can clearly tell it's not a hidden anything, it's just a door. But yeah, I tried to make it blend in a little bit better because the secret room that obviously could be very easily a 2nd bedroom. You could delete those bookcase doors, replace them with one of these bigger doors that I use from the Vampires pack, and you would easily have a 2nd bedroom that has a window in it and everything. But that 2nd bedroom, or like 2nd room, is where I put the coffin for the vampire, because obviously a vampire does need a coffin. I know some vampires, unless they have the, I think, fitful sleep, or I don't know, I think it's like, I don't think it's the fitful sleep weakness. I think it's a like only sleeping in coffin something or other that I can't remember the name of. But I know there is a weakness that vampires can get where they physically cannot sleep in a regular bed. They can only sleep in coffins. But I know most vampires, if they don't have that, then they can sleep in a normal bed. But they won't, you know, sleeping in a regular bed won't recharge their vampire energy. To recharge that, they do need to sleep or like hibernate in a coffin. So for this house or like apartment, I wanted to give them like a regular bedroom, but also a separate like coffin room. And I wanted to make it a little bit more secret because if you do have Sims over that don't know that you're a vampire, and you know, maybe they just think that you really like this style of decorating, and I know a lot of people actually do, so it's very normal looking. But you know, obviously they would see your normal bedroom and, you know, bathroom and living space, and maybe you don't really want to have them know that you have a coffin that you need to sleep in. So yeah, I wanted to make that a little bit of a like hidden room. In there, there's just a bunch of candles, a little like decorative, not really shelf, but like decorative kind of like storage. I know there's a specific name for it, I just can't remember what it is. Cabinet, that's the name, that's the word. But there's a little cabinet full of like elixirs and stuff from Realm of Magic, which kind of tied into the whole like apothecary alchemist type thing. And yeah, there's just a bunch of like really weird gargoyle statues on the wall from the Vampires pack. And then obviously the most expensive coffin, because this vampire is fancy, even though they do live in an apartment, they don't live in like a big old mansion. Maybe they actually own a big mansion as well, and they just prefer to live in the city because it's easier, and maybe, like I said, they do like adapting to the modern world. So maybe they just like living in an apartment and they have like a really old mansion as their like second home or something. But yeah, in my head they are rich, so they do have a bunch of very fancy furniture because why not? I don't think you would ever get a like not rich vampire, because if you have centuries to make money, you're probably gonna have a lot of it. Like, I mean, like, obviously it just makes sense. So yeah, they have a lot of expensive furniture. This apartment is worth almost 123,000 simoleons, so it's very expensive. And yeah, I think that's everything that I wanted to mention. And something else really random is you will see that I used a lot of the wall space in this apartment because it's the, actually I think it's the highest wall height, or like the media, I think it's the highest wall height. So there's a lot of open wall space, and most of it I basically just turned into big gallery walls. So realistically it would be really irritating having pictures or paintings that high up a wall. It would be a nightmare, but they're a vampire and I figured they probably wouldn't care. So yeah, they have a lot of old pictures and gallery walls and stuff, which I figured maybe they have a lot of paintings and portraits and stuff that they've kind of like accumulated over their lifespan, and it kind of like tells a story of their life, or you know, the people that they've known and maybe their family and stuff like that. I'm like major like Carlisle Cullen vibes from Twilight, so yeah, definitely channeled that. But I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did, give the video a like. If you're new to the channel and you'd like to see some more Sims content, feel free to hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell as well to be notified of whenever I upload a new video. But yeah, I'm actually posting this on Wednesday, so if we got a patch yesterday, then yeah, apologies for not talking about that, but we haven't gotten it yet by the time I'm recording this. So yeah, there's that. But I hope you're all having a great day and a great week, and I'll talk to you all in my very next video. Bye everyone!